I need to say a few things about one of my previous videos. The video about the word Meridian. First off, I got the date wrong. It wasn't 2015, it was 2013. That's when I stopped being human trafficked and I came up here from the deep south in the middle of nowhere in the desert. How I got out of human trafficking is another. I ain't going there today. Now, how the hell did I get that date wrong, right? What can I say? That video was really hard to make. So that brings me to the second thing that I need to say. Before I go any further, however, I'm not going to put a trigger warning on this. I'm going to put a trauma warning on this. As in, I'm going to talk about some really severe abuse. In the video, I was really upset. I was really sad. Because there's a really painful reason why I needed a gender-neutral word to refer to a parent that was pregnant since I was 12. And it was really hard not to say it. And the truth is, I did say it. I just edited it out. I edited out the multitude of times that I did say just exactly. And I did that because every single time I said it all wrong. I'm having a really hard time talking about this. So I'm instead going to talk about why I looked angry in this video when I really was just sad and heartbroken. Have you seen The Man Who Laughs? It's an old silent movie. It's about an orphan boy who was kidnapped by a circus and disfigured for a freak show. This would often happen. Orphans would be taken and disfigured for freak shows. This still happens today. It's just not always orphans, and you're not always kidnapped. Sometimes people's parents disfigure them for the freak show. Oh, but we don't have freak shows anymore. No, we don't, nor do we have slavery. We have human trafficking. We have snuff films and child porn. That's the freak show I was disfigured for. By my biological mother. Yeah, women do these things too. Women can be monsters just as much as men can. And men can be mothers. Back to being disfigured for the freak show. One of the things my biological mother would do to me. Here's where it gets really graphic. She would sit me down on her lap and put her fingers in me and give me my lines, so to speak. Tell me what I was going to say to everyone I was going to interact with. But it's more than that. It was my expressions, too. She would move my eyebrows where she wanted them to be and have me hold them up and move my face into a smile and have me smile. And she'd have me hold my face like that for hours. And if I didn't hold the expression or I didn't say my lines properly, she would jerk her fingers and scrape me. So why did she do this? Because she was doing something really, really bad to me and to other people. And she was trying to cover it up. Because if I had this horrified fucking look on my face, people would have maybe suspected what otherwise should have been obvious, all except for my face. If you think that's bad, that's not even the shit that keeps me up at night. Don't get me wrong. It bothers me. But not like other things. There are other things that are so fucking unspeakable. Every time I try to speak them, I lose my shit and I say it all wrong. I'm gonna get back on track. If you had these things being done to you, you would have a horrified expression on your face, wouldn't you? So I did. So she made me hold this placid expression until that became my face. Just eyebrows up, smile. And so I remained for years like a fucking zombie. And I'm starting to get my expressions back, but you'll still see that expression. This is something that abusers do. If you don't have a horrified look on your face, no one's gonna suspect that something horrified, even when everything else made it glaringly obvious. We are so programmed to be blind. Sometimes the child that's acting out isn't the one that's being abused. Sometimes you would never know a child is being abused because they have Stockholm Syndrome, like I did. And sometimes people like to play ventriloquist with their fucking kids so that they don't have a horrified look on their face, so that no one suspects anything. Back to the man who laughs. His face was carved into a permanent smile. People think that this movie is a horror movie. It's not. It's a tragedy. I always watched it and it was harrowing because there are all these scenes where he's crying, but he's smiling. And I related. My biological mother didn't carve my face into a smile with a knife. She carved a smile into my face with her fingernails. And sometimes I still can't wipe that placid look off my fucking face. And all my expressions are fucked up. The only emotion that I seem to be able to convey is anger. So the man who laughs is allegorical to one of the ways I was disfigured. His experience in the movie I always related to, where people think he's a monster when he's a good person who was disfigured. How sad is it that it has become human nature to be scared of something that's different, to think that someone's a monster just because the way that they look is unnerving to you. Did you know that intersex people used to be considered monsters? After the Inquisitions imposed Christianity on the pagan world and demonized intersex people, I'd say up until the 50s, but up until today, intersex people are still looked at. A lot of really bad things happened to me, were allowed to happen to me. A lot of people looked the other way or took a fucking cut because the way I looked was unnerving to them. Unusual compared to what? Such is the way it has gone. This is what life has looked like for intersex people for thousands of years. So now you know a little bit more about me. When you see me with that placid expression, especially when you go back through my videos, call me the man who laughs. But remember, I was disfigured for a freak show. And I may not look it, but I'm really, really sad. Before I go, I'll leave you with a question. Where did this idea of normal come from? I'd ask why we still judge books by their covers, judge people by how they look. But where does that frame of reference even come from? Whose frame of reference are you looking at the world through? Is it yours? Or is it someone else's? I encourage you to entertain the possibility that popular culture is expressing a worldview based on a maze of lies. For those of you who already know that, just make sure you're not building connective tissue to it. Certainly I'll watch TV shows sometimes, read a magazine just to keep my mind erased. But know that that is what it's doing. Look away. Look towards what's real, what's true, what's kind, what is just, what is justice, what is evolution. As far as I'm concerned, evolution is understanding. The more you understand, the more you evolve. How do you understand anything? Empathy. Thanks for watching. Peace and love, kids. Peace.